Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you three selections for tomorrow's racing. But before we get into that, I quickly just want to apologise for being a bit quiet over the last few days here on the YouTube channel. Obviously it was Cheltenham last week, I was really busy, it's quite frantic work-wise, so I just wanted to have a few days away, recharge the batteries. But on the whole, it wasn't a bad Cheltenham festival for us. We were slightly up on the first day, slightly down on the second day, well up on the third day as we had third wind and Love Envoy. So they were some good results for us. And then on Friday, we were slightly down. But throughout the week, if you analyse it as a whole, we were up. So I'm not complaining too much there. And also, as well, if you followed me on Twitter at the weekend, I put a couple of selections up. We had Killer Clown win at Kempton. That was a good winner for us. So yeah, if you followed any of those selections, I hope you had a good weekend with maybe some extra beer money. So yeah, on the whole, it's been a good month so far. And fingers crossed we can end off the month over the next week or so with some winners. And I've got three selections to get back into the swing of things for tomorrow's racing. So let's get into it then. The first selection I'm going to give you is my next best of the day. He runs in the 2:45 at Market Rasen, and that's a horse called Go As You Please for Richie McLernan and Paul Webber in the colours of JP McManus. Currently available at 10 to 1 with quite a few firms. You've got the Dead 8 runners. I thought this was actually quite a big price for this horse. I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now, this horse Go As You Please. I think the key to him is better ground and coming in here fresh. Now, we've not seen him for a few months, so that's definitely a positive angle for him tomorrow because I think he will be somewhere near his best. He's only £1 higher than his last winning mark, which actually came at Warwick earlier in the season when he returned from a break. So that freshness angle, I think, is really going to suit him tomorrow. He's normally a horse that runs his race. He's normally quite a consistent horse, and I just thought this race was quite weak, really, for the grade. Hard Mail on some of his old form is still well treated. He did bounce back to life last time out, but I'm just not fully convinced if he's going to be able to back that up. And I just think, Go As You Please. Okay, yes, he is off, you might call a high mark, but on some of his earlier form, he normally runs to this kind of level. I think the freshness angle is definitely positive. The ground will be a positive as well. He stays a little bit further. It could just set up quite nicely for him, and I could just see Richie getting a good toe into the race and playing him late. And if he is on a going day at 10 to 1, I think that's a big price there, and that's why he's going to be my next best of the day. I think it's a weak race, and I think he definitely represents a little bit of value there. We then go with an extra selection which runs in the 3:01 at Exeter. Weird time for that race, but that's the time of it in the 3:01 at Exeter. I'm going to go with an extra tip here, and that is Canelo for Tom Cannon and Alan King. I'm going to recommend a small stakes win only bet here, a 0.5 win only selection, because I think he's kind of a boom or bust selection tomorrow. I think you might know your fate quite early on, but I just couldn't let him go off at his current price. He's available at 8 to 1 with quite a few firms. But yeah, this horse Canelo was a really classy horse on his day. Last season, he was very, very progressive over fences as a novice. He took some really big races, including the Roland Merrick or Wetherby, so he's no mug. But I think as a result of winning all those good races, he was just too high in the weights. And he ended up starting the season off a mark of 145. He's now dropped £18. He started off in a warm competitive race at Bangor and D, which saw the likes of Snow Leopardess in, and that form was actually well boosted on quite a few occasions this season. So it was a deep race he started off at, and then the last few tasks have just been quite hard for him. He was sent off 4 to 1 at Ludlow last time, so he was well fancied to get the job done and run a good race. But I just think maybe the ground was against him that day, and I just think you can put a line through that run. It was quite a grueling, hard work, and I think that was actually a little bit more of a competitive race, and some people might say. I remember we had Java Point we put up here that won that race that day on the YouTube channel, and Canelo, he was quite tailed off in the end, but I think you can put a line through that run, and I just think this is slightly easier tomorrow, even though there are a few informed candidates in here. I just thought that they weren't necessarily that well handicapped or had much left to come, or maybe some like Classic Bear maybe just had a hard race last time out. Or I think Canelo, with the yard coming into a bit of form as well, the drying out conditions, I think that would really suit him. Alan King's horses have been going really well the last couple of weeks. They're operating at 24% strike rate. They're normally hot and cold kind of yard. I find normally when their horses are in form, it tends to go throughout the stable. or maybe they're just all well handicapped now and they're getting back to somewhere near their best. So yeah, I just think Canelo, I think he represents a bit of value there. I'm going to recommend a small win only bet on him there as one of my extra tips of the day. The last selection is going to be my nap, who runs in the 346 at Wetherby, and that is Grand Mogul for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Henson, currently available at 6-1 with most firms. I'm going to recommend a 1 point win bet here. Now, I think you can put a line through this horse's last run when he ran at Exeter. I think the ground was against him that day. He really wants a decent surface, and the drying out ground at Wetherby is really going to suit him tomorrow. Currently good to soft. It could even dry out further, so that's going to play to his strengths. He's really a horse that's ground dependent, and I think, like I say, you can just put a line through that run at Exeter. It was soft ground last time out, and I just don't think he was necessarily suited by having to make his own running. I remember in the past he's quite a keen, buzzy horse, so I just think maybe he needs to just be given a lead, and I think he could get that in here tomorrow. You're going to have Fernhill, Castle Robin, Uncle Alistair, Bushy Park, Tallow for Cole. A few of these horses have made the running in the past, and it just means Nico de Boinville might be able to be a little bit more patient with him and settle. He actually won on his chase debut at Kelso on good ground with similar tactics. You know, he was pulling a bit, but he jumped well throughout, and he was able to settle and get into a good rhythm. Now, Nico de Boinville only goes up to Wetherby for one ride tomorrow, so that's a long journey for him. So they must be confident the horse has got a good chance. The yard are in a better place as well. Obviously, it was well documented before Cheltenham that they weren't in a good place, but they've been continuing to have winners. They had winners at the weekend. They had a winner today with Fishcake at Plumpton. So, yeah, the yard are in a good place at the moment. I think the ground's in this horse's favour. I think maybe some of the others have had a bit of a hard season, whereas Grand Mogul, we've only seen him once. He's actually from the family of Brahma Bull, who's no mug for Willie Mullin. So plenty of ticks in the boxes, I think, tomorrow for Grand Mogul. He shouldn't be the price he is. I think he should be at least half that price, around about at least a 10-3, 7-2 mark. And yeah, I'd be interested to see how the market reacts to him tomorrow. But I'm quite keen on his chances. So that's going to be my final selection of the day. So there are the 3 tips then for tomorrow's racing. Let me know in the comments box below what you're going to be back in tomorrow. Also as well, if you're still enjoying these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoads15. If you want to follow me on the socials, I'm on Twitter and Insta, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And that's all I've got to say. So please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you soon.